It's time to check your answers for our formal charge question about sulfuric acid. So I'm hoping that you did things really well and you are a professional at this already. Okay, so like I said, the first thing I always like to do is find the elements that are identical so I don't do extra work. If I look, H's here are hooked up the same way, these O's are hooked up the same way, these O's are hooked up the same way, and our sulfur. So I have to do, 4 different formal charge calculations, but you know what? Life is hard. So if we check our hydrogens, hydrogens start with one valent electron that they bring to the party, and each of these hydrogens has one bond. So my formal charge on each of these hydrogens is 0. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. These oxygens here, both of them are hooked up identically. Oxygens start by bringing 6 electrons to the party. We have 4 electrons drawn around here because of the dots and 2 bonds, and so I have formal charges of 0. Looking good so far, not so bad. Okay, let's check out these O's here. These O's also bring 6 electrons to the party. They have 4 dots around them and 2 bonds, so they have formal charges of 0. That's great, 0 and 0. And the sulfur here starts with 6 electrons. It has 0 dots around it, but it does have 6 bonds, so this has a formal charge of 0. All right, so if you look at this already, this is going to be a hard Lewis structure to beat because it has formal charges of 0 all the way around it. So I guess good luck with the other one, but we'll do it because we're dedicated. So if we look, connections are the same for the hydrogens, these oxygens, the vertical oxygens are different, and the sulfur is different. So kind of like we just did before. All right, hydrogens. 1 valence electron minus 1 bond gives me a formal charge of 0. That's identical to my previous Lewis structure. Yeah, I'll keep it here. Okay. These oxygens are hooked up in the same way as they were above. So I have 6 valence electrons minus 4 minus 2 for the bonds, and that gives me 0. So these have zeros as well, so that's not so bad. But let's check out these oxygens. Oxygens bring 6 electrons to the party. We have 6 dots drawn around, so we'll take away 6 plus 1 in the bond, and that leaves me with a -1. So each of these oxygens has a -1, and then for sulfur, sulfur starts with 6 electrons, and then in this Lewis structure there are 4 bonds drawn around it, so I have a +2, and that's kind of icky. So if we compare these two Lewis structures, I have formal charges of 0 all around for this top Lewis structure, and then formal charges of a -1, and a -1 and a +2, and that's not particularly great because if we can get it to work out that way, we want formal charges of 0 across the board. Okay, so hopefully this is a smashing success for you and you are able to do your homework. If you are having trouble, please make sure you get your questions answered and we'll get things cleared up.